Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're doing something really exciting. We are going to learn exactly how to take our biggest, most overwhelming aspirations and actually translate them into manageable daily actions. It's going to be a great one, so let's get right into it. So, let's dive right in with a simple question pulled straight from our source material. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? Seriously, think about it for a second. Whether you wanted to be a football player running under the bright stadium lights, or maybe a singer belting it out in front of your bedroom mirror with, two bored houseplants as your audience, what was your big dream? Even if those childhood dreams were a little dramatic, they made life exciting, right? To help us reconnect with those faded ambitions, our agenda today covers 5 main steps. We'll be looking at 1. Defining dreams and goals, 2. Choosing your daily anchor, 3. Defeating the dream thieves, 4. Overcoming doubts and negativity, and finally, 5. A compass, not a deadline.
Starting off with Part 1, Defining Dreams and Goals, the big wish versus the small plan.
The source makes a really fascinating distinction here between two words we usually just mix together. A dream is the massive wish inside your heart. It's the emotional destination, the what. For example, wanting to speak confident English. But a goal? A goal is the tiny, concrete action you take today. It's the practical vehicle, the how, like actually sitting down and speaking for 5 minutes today. Big dreams absolutely need to travel with small goals. They're a team.
But here's the catch. The problem arises when you have 10 different dreams fighting for your attention, all at the exact same time. What happens? Well, your brain gets overwhelmed and you end up doing literally nothing. So the source suggests choosing just one to be your main priority for this current season of your life. And priority simply means the thing that goes first in your time and energy. You aren't destroying your other dreams. Scratch that, you're just putting them in the back seat so this one can drive for a little while.
I love this example from the source material. A guy named Jake describes his dream of owning a simple house with a garden. So what's his practical goal? He saves a small, fixed amount of money each and every month. He treats it as a mandatory bill that he pays to his future self. He literally calls it rent for my future. By doing that, he is living a tiny piece of his dream right now.
Moving right along to Part 2, Choosing Your Daily Anchor. Okay, so how do we actually do this? The crucial point is that to prevent your dream from just disappearing into your busy schedule, you have to follow these steps to create a heavy anchor. Think about it. Just like an anchor keeps a boat from drifting out to sea, a daily action keeps your dream grounded in your day. And you have to choose a clear, specific time, like 10 minutes of English practice right after dinner. As the source reminds us, relying on that dangerous word sometime usually just means never. Now, your daily anchor absolutely does not need to be this massive, exhausting effort, but it does need to be consistent so your brain recognizes it as a real part of your routine. Consistent just means doing something regularly, again and again. It's that quiet, steady repetition that transforms a grand idea into actual, real-world progress. There's this fantastic quote from Anna in the text that really hits the nail on the head. By putting in just 15 minimum minutes of consistent work every weekday on her English course idea, she perfectly captures the power of showing up for your dream over and over again. She literally says to her dream, "I'm coming slowly, but I'm coming. It's not fast, but man, it is real."
Which brings us to Part 3, Defeating the Dream Thieves.
Let's be honest, real life is incredibly messy. Our environments are packed with all these elements that constantly invite us to abandon our anchors. Your phone pings with endless notifications, there are tasty snacks in the kitchen, and your comfortable sofa is practically begging you to just sit down and watch one more video. We've all been there.
These dream thieves, they absolutely thrive on creating distractions, things that actively pull your attention away from your anchor. When you try to multitask by checking messages, watching videos, and working on your goal all at the same time, your attention just scatters across way too many tabs, and the result? Your brain is left feeling completely exhausted. So to protect that precious 15-minute block of time, the source highly recommends changing your physical environment to create what they call a focus corner. Put your phone on silent, maybe sit in a totally different chair, and send a clear, friendly, but serious message to your brain. We are serious now. You don't have to be a robot about it, but you do need a protected block of time where your dream is the absolute star of the show. All right, Part 4, Overcoming Doubts and Negativity. Even with the perfect focus corner, you are going to have those heavy, difficult days when your brain says, "Dreams? No thank you. Today I only want snacks and drama."
On those days, your mindset becomes your absolute most important tool. Mindset is simply your attitude toward a situation. Reconnecting with your personal why, the deep reason you started this in the first place, can provide that tiny little push you need to take one small step.
And that brings us to this really beautiful concept highlighted in the text: loyalty. Instead of paralyzing yourself by worrying if you have the strength to keep this up for the next 3 years, you show loyalty to your dream by simply asking what you can do in the next 10 minutes. Loyalty means staying with your promise even when it's really difficult. Giving 5 honest minutes on a bad day tells your heart that you still care.
I really want you to ask yourself this today. Are your current thoughts and actions supporting your goal, or are you criticizing it, ignoring it, and just saying later, later, later? You definitely don't have to be perfect, but if most days you actively choose to be for your dream, you will inevitably move forward.
And finally, part 5, a compass, not a deadline.
When you start sharing your dreams, people might laugh or tell you to just be realistic. But the source reminds us that they are often just projecting their own insecurities and their own fear of risk onto you. Because of this, you've got to wrap your dream in a little emotional jacket to protect it. Keep it precious. Share it only with those who truly support your climb.
Now this is a real game changer. Consider the profound difference between a deadline and a direction. A deadline causes pressure. It causes stress. But your dream is not a punishment. It's not some strict deadline you absolutely must hit this year. Instead, try treating it as a direction, a gentle compass that quietly guides your daily life and gives you hope through the difficult seasons.
Because it's a direction and not a deadline, it is perfectly okay to have messy weeks where you need to be flexible and simply sit down. As the quote perfectly states, rest is not failure. You can rest knowing that your face is still turned towards your goal. Listen, your dream doesn't demand a flawless, perfect version of you. It just needs a version of you that keeps coming back.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. If your dream is a direction, what is one gentle step you can take this week? Instead of waiting around for the perfect moment or for all the stars to align, what is one tiny, honest action you can take today to slowly walk toward your compass? Thank you so much for joining me, and I highly, highly encourage you to take that step today.